Andy McCarthy at National Review is a skeptic on this whole story, as you heard me raise with Matt. And he keeps saying, we knew about collusion. The collusion was with Hillary and Fusion GPS, who created the phony Steele dossier and then managed to get it used by the intel agencies to start an investigation against Trump, suggesting he colluded with Russia to steal the election. He's right that that piece of it has long been known. What's happening now is an entirely different piece, which is equally pernicious. All along, we have just accepted that Russia did interfere in the election to help Trump. Like, that's been kind of an accepted thing. And what skeptics have been saying all along is that they interfered like barely in the way they had interfered in many elections prior to 16, and not just in the United States, by the way, and that there's zero proof that they actually wanted to help Trump. And they got dumped on. People like Taibbi, Molly Hemingway, Maria Bartiromo got crapped all over for years for saying those two things. Because when collusion fell apart, the left held onto those little darlings. Well, he did interfere, and he did it to help Trump. So it wasn't a fair election. They've been clinging to them, just like, you know, your kids cling to their little stuffies in their cribs. And now those are falling apart in spectacular fashion. Those were just as dishonest distortions as the collusion narrative. The Russian interference was barely there. It was like what Putin does to everyone's elections. Sow chaos, anybody he doesn't like. Let's get like some fake news articles going. Let's amplify the Black Lives Matter stuff. Well, that was 2020, but you know what I'm saying? Like, do stuff that divides Americans. Let's amplify all that. We enjoy that. And that's it. And on top of that, the big kahuna that was left, which was he did it because he wanted to help Donald Trump, was the biggest lie of them all. He didn't want to help Trump. He had actually very little belief that Trump was going to win. He had a bunch of stuff he could have released on Hillary Clinton that would have made her look terrible and was in the news cycle. There were tons of speculations going on about her health. He could have dropped that shit and blown up her campaign, but he didn't. And now we're finding all this, that there wasn't one piece of the Russia narrative that A, was true, or B, wasn't understood to be false when it was getting peddled to us by John Brennan and Jim Comey and Clapper and Obama. That's the other big piece that's come out, that Obama himself was the one who stopped the intelligence community chain from about to report in a document that Trump's team would have seen too, that the Russian interference really wasn't a thing. It was really kind of not much. To right after he demanded that meeting, it's all these untrue things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a gargantuan scandal. And I understand. I mean, if you go to like New York Times or Washington Post, you're not going to find a single story anywhere on their website about it, right? I mean, they just want this to go away, in large part because they were key to the entire strategy to make this thing work.
They really were. And I don't think I talked about this on our show today, but something that I remember from the time, because you guys, every other guy on this set, Megyn, they were like, this is not true. This is not true. And I believed them. But I was working with a lot of reporters at the time, and up until that point, it was like, 10 years working reporters and political stuff, trying to sell Republican talking points and all that sort of thing. And we, it's a left-wing media, but we were making some inroads. Trump wins. And then all of a sudden, every single person who I was talking to about the campaign, all of a sudden, overnight, became a Russia reporter.
Yep.
And that sort of thing does not happen just because they're like, oh, well, we're trying to drive a wedge with the new president. That sort of sustained, coordinated effort can only happen if someone as influential as Barack Obama and the people around him cared so much about driving it that they spent time doing it.
So I agree with you, Ashbrook. I think that's the inside game. I think the outside game for the media was that this whole narrative served as a warm comfort,
justification,
a coping mechanism for the entire Democratic base and all of these voters who were like, how is it that Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
Right. And so Russiagate became that on the outside. So the media monetized this fake story.
That's the thing.
And so I think it perpetuated itself both on the inside from the intel agency and the Obama administration. And then on the outside, all of these reporters who are writing all the salacious Russiagate stuff, they're getting clicks.
And beyond getting clicks, you saw the rise of reporters who have zero journalistic capabilities.
Natasha
Bertrand,
right.
who've created not only careers, book deals.
Yeah.
They've gotten rich off of this. They collected awards, accolades, made careers. They jumped from paper to paper, getting pay raise after pay raise off of this whole delusion, off of this whole lie, which is why, like Holmes said, you don't see this reporting today in the Washington Post or in the New York Times, because all the money they made, are they willing to admit, you know what? I guess these millions were all just bullshit.
But you do not get that sort of uniform commitment to a single storyline across every single major broadcast network and major daily newspaper without people at the top telling them we are pursuing this.
Yeah, 100%.
Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they're moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your own personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. OMG. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by buying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold extremely easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898 and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.